Hello friends, let's start our discussion on current affairs for this week with a question on the Wimbledon 2023. Here's the first one. The marketer Wondrousova, who won the women's singles title at the Wimbledon Championships 2023, comes from the Czech Republic. Now she comes from Czech Republic. As you know, Czech Republic is a constituent, one of the two constituents of the former country of Czechoslovakia. Now this country split in the late 80s. It split into two countries, Czech Republic and Slovakia. Okay. Now I want to give you the names of the winners of this year's Wimbledon's various, in various categories of Wimbledon Championship. We'll start with, Wimbledon 2023. That's the title. That will be the title. Winner. This is women's singles winner. You write women's singles winner. Sorry. Winner. Winner. Marketa Wondrousova of Czech Republic. She was an unseeded player. That is, she was not seeded in the top 16. The top 16 places are seeded. SE. They are seeded, and Wimbledon has its own seeding. Now, the runner-up. In the case of singles championships, usually we look at the runners-up as well. The runner-up in the case of women's singles was it's mentioned here, Ons Jabeur of Tunisia. Ons Jabeur of Tunisia. Ons has been pretty unlucky in the finals. She's lost the Wimbledon this year. She's lost Australian Open and the US Open in the recent past. So the final, maybe you could, in cricket we use the term choker. Someone chokes at the final hurdle. So we have had the title given to the South Africans in the past. Now it looks like Ons Jabeur is a choker, but hopefully she wins things better things, and on a more consistent basis. So that's the women's singles winner, Marketa, and the women's runner-up was Ons of Tunisia. Men's singles winner, Carlos Alcaraz of Spain. And runner-up was the great Novak Djokovic of Serbia. Okay. After Djokovic lost the first setter, of course, he was quite angry with himself. He, in fact, broke the racket. He broke the racket on the net, and for which he was fined $8,000. But in the post-match press conference, Djokovic had described Alcaraz as a very complete player. He said that Alcaraz is the sum total of, Novak Djokovic himself, Rafael Nadal, and Roger Federer. So he's a combination of all these three. That's what makes him a very formidable, very, very fierce, formidable, very difficult opponent to beat. So, that's a great compliment for the 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz. So that's the men's singles. Let's look at only the winners in the case of men's doubles and women's doubles. Only the winners, please. No runners up. Men's doubles. Since I started with men's doubles instead of women's doubles. Anyway, men's doubles winners: Neil Skupski of the UK and Wesley Koolhof of Netherlands. Women's doubles. I usually go with alphabetical in an alphabetical way. So Barbara Strykova of the Czech Republic and Xie Su Wei of Taiwan. Why don't we bring in mixed doubles as well? Mixed doubles. I'll write here mixed doubles. Winners of mixed doubles. Lyudmila Kichinok of Ukraine and Mate Pavic of Croatia. Mate Pavic of Croatia. So Lyudmila is from Ukraine. Ukraine, please, not UK, United Kingdom. This is Ukraine. So let me put a third letter R. And Pavic is from Croatia. So that's a bit about, these winners of the Wimbledon 2023 titles. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, which in short is called the OPEC, is exploring a potential membership expansion through consultations with Azerbaijan, Malaysia, Brunei and Mexico. The headquarters of the OPEC is in, Vienna. Vienna is in Austria, which is not a member of the OPEC actually. This is where you would find Austria, this country here. Okay. Now, I want you to know that here the legend says that these countries are, this dark blue, these are OPEC countries. What are they? OPEC countries. So let's write a bit about the OPEC. You could write the full name, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. Below there, you could write 1, established 1961. Next, head office, Vienna, the capital of Austria. Next, Secretary General Haytham Al Ghais of Kuwait. I'll come to this map in a while. Next, 10 members. So write 1, Venezuela. I'll write like this. Okay, Venezuela. 2, Algeria. 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 3, Libya. I'll go down here. 4, Nigeria. There are 3 countries here. Okay, this one is 5, Equatorial Guinea. 6, Gabon. 7 is the Republic of the Congo. Congo is a river, so the Congo. 8, what is this? Angola. 9, Saudi Arabia. So 13 members. Did we say 10? No. 13 members. So 13 members. 9, Saudi Arabia. 10, UAE. 11 Kuwait, 12 Iraq, 13 Iran. So 13 members, 13 full-time members of the OPEC, my friends. Okay. Sure. From here, now let's look at the OPEC plus. Now there is something called the OPEC plus. OPEC plus is OPEC plus other large petroleum producing countries. So OPEC plus, you could write OPEC plus includes 10 members. 10 members. 1. Mexico. 2. Sudan, SUDAN. 3. South Sudan, 4. Oman. 5 here. Azerbaijan, it's mentioned here. This is 5. Azerbaijan. 6. Okay, since geographical order. 6. Russia. 7. Kazakhstan, I'll spell it here. 7. Okay. Then 8. Bahrain. There's a tiny island here called Bahrain. 8. Bahrain. 9. Malaysia. 10. Here within this there is a small country here, Brunei. It's mentioned here. Malaysia is 9th, 10th is Brunei. Okay. My handwriting is a God-given gift. Not that I have not done much to improve it. Yeah, I've tried to, but then sometimes it just doesn't work. Yeah. So that's a bit about the OPEC, my friends. It's a very powerful, trade body. You could say trade because it's a commodity body. It's just one commodity, oil, which is oil and gas. We're talking of energy here. It's a very powerful body. Often it acts as a cartel. Cartel means where countries come together, firms come, people come together to control the prices in the market. Yeah, the supply and the pricing basically. Chalo. And of all these countries here, Venezuela, this one, has the world's largest proven reserves of petroleum. Largest proven reserves of petroleum. Okay, Venezuela has the world's largest proven reserves of petroleum. Which country will send cluster munitions to Ukraine as part of an $800 million security package? The United States. So I usually add photos. You must have found that I add photos because I believe that photos help you understand things better. Now you look at the previous question. Without a photo, it would be very difficult for us to place these countries. But a map can tell us a lot of things. Of course, I have to identify the countries. They're just colored here. But I have to identify the countries for you. Now, this is where value addition comes in, my friends. Also, make sure that you learn through maps. It is or some pictures. Like this one. What does it say? Cluster munition. Now, what's a cluster munition? This is where, a bomb would have small bomblets, about 100 bomblets. 100 bomblets. These are bomblets. So when it is released, when the bomb is released, let's say it's released like this, all these 100, they fall out. They fall out. And they fall over a large space. If they're The cluster bomb is thrown from the air, that is from aircraft, fighter aircraft. So obviously it would, it would spread the cluster, these bomblets over a larger area. That is why you have all these things. See, here they are exploding in all these places. See, it is just one bomb, but a lot of bomblets, because they are clustered together. It's called cluster munition. Munition is weapon. It's a very dangerous weapon. Over 100 countries in the world have banned cluster munitions, because often some which do not explode may pose to civilians and others, like military persons, in the longer run. I'm sorry, my eyes are burning. In the longer run. So this is something that we need to look at. The Americans have seen that the Ukrainian counteroffensive is not going as per, as they planned, as they hoped. The Ukrainians are suffering heavy casualties in their attempt to take back the territory, occupied by the Russians. But in the process, they have lost not only people, they have lost lots of weapons and everything, especially the Western supplied weapons. Consequently, the Americans have said that let's use cluster munitions. Now, the funny thing about this is, last year when the Russians were alleged to have used cluster munitions in Ukraine, the Americans called that action as an act of war, crime against humanity. The Americans call it a crime against humanity. Now the Americans themselves are doing this. So you need to be very careful as to who you are reading. See, you could be reading New York Times, you could be reading Washington Journal, you could be reading, Wall Street Journal or Washington Post. They're typically pro-American media, pro-American government media. So you need to be very, very careful. Okay? So they are very dangerous, my friends, extremely dangerous. If a person steps on an unexploded bomblet, the person may die or lose limbs, some part of the body. So there are always security implications of the use of such, bombs. So humanitarian implications are always there, and often they are catastrophic. Okay. Edgar Rinkevich was sworn in as the new and the first openly gay president of the nation of Latvia. This is Latvia. You see this in green here? Latvia. Now, this is called Baltic nation. There are three Baltic nations, these three. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. These three are called Baltic nations. They're called Baltic nations. Why Baltic nations? Because there is a Samudra here. There is a sea here called the Baltic Sea. The Baltic Sea has the lowest salinity among all water bodies in the world. Lowest salinity. Now you wonder why. Well, the reason is this. There are two reasons. One, very little of salt water gets into this. Very little of salt water gets here, because there are a lot of islands here near Denmark and everything. Now, second reason is there are a lot of rivers that, lot of rivers, hundreds of rivers here which carry fresh water. They drain into Baltic Sea, so they carry sweet water, or called salt, fresh water, and fresh water merges, mixes with salt water, usual sea water. That is where the salinity of this particular water body has gone down, because of the mixing of fresh water from thousands of rivers in this area with salt water of the Baltic Sea. Okay, now let me tell you a bit about these presidents, the leaders. We'll just look at the list, because see, if you look at the capitals, they're all already mentioned. All of them are mentioned. If you look at Latvia, the capital is Riga, R-I-G-A, Riga. Lithuania, Vilnius, I'll spell it for you, Vilnius. Okay, this is Vilnius. Latvia, Riga. Denmark, Copenhagen. Estonia, Tallinn. It's here. Okay, Tallinn. Finland, Helsinki. This is Helsinki. Okay. See, it has always been a taboo for a person to admit they were homosexual. But of late, people are openly asserting their sexual orientation. Well, I don't think you and I should sit in judgment over such things as to what a person should be, should not be, because end of the day, it's a personal choice people make. Our focus should be on, okay, if this question comes to the exam, if they ask me who is Edgar Rinkiewicz, you would say, yeah, he is the president of Latvia. That's it. There's nothing more you need to know. Okay. A little more, if you want to know about countries and all that, why don't we write the lit prime ministers in Petteri. Finland's prime minister is Petteri Orpo. I just covered the area in the map. Petteri Orpo. Okay. He's the prime minister of Finland. Estonia's prime minister is Kaja Kallas. Kaja Kallas. Latvia is mentioned here. Lithuania has a president. This is prime minister. Prime minister. Lithuania has a president, and the president is Gitanas Nausėda. Gitanas Nausėda. What's mentioned? Denmark. Denmark has a constitutional monarchy. Mette Frederiksen. See, this is Denmark, the Kingdom of Denmark. Okay. Then the unique initiative of the Women's Only Court, recently launched by the center at the village level as an alternate dispute resolution. The answer is mentioned there, but let me tell you what is ADR, which is alternate dispute resolution. See, this is where disputes are settled. It's a dispute settlement mechanism without involving the formal and organized judiciary. So no district court, no sessions court, no high court, no Supreme Court. Okay, so this is ADR. Now there are different methods used as ADR, like you have mediation, you have conciliation, you have arbitration. In different things there are different solutions. Like for example, in arbitration, whatever the final decision is, it's binding on the parties. Okay, when it comes to conciliation, mediation, they are not typically binding. They are not binding agreements. So anyway, let me tell you something more. I'm so sorry. This comes under the Ministry of, this is under Mission Shakti. Mission Shakti. Oh, what is happening today? I'm so sorry. I goofed up completely. Mission Shakti. Okay, launched under Mission Shakti of the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Ministry of Women and Child Development, led by Smriti Zubin Irani. Smriti Zubin Irani. Yeah. Which two states were adjudged best performance in school education in the Ministry of Education's Performance Grading Index report for states and union territories? Well, they are mentioned there. Now, the government of India came up with reporting grading, but the thing about this reporting and grading is that the top 5 categories, the top category was Daksh. In the top 5 categories for performance evaluation, not a single state ended up in. Not a single state was ranked in the top 5 categories. Now, this particular category that they are best in is the category Prachesta. Prachesta. In fact, it's category 5. So the first 4 categories had no, no winners. So we have a long way to go when it comes to, taking care of our children, improving school performance, college performance, improving infrastructure, improving, education outcomes, learning outcomes, and all that. Okay. So that's how it is, my friends. To give you the names of the chief minister, Puducherry is the only union territory in India. It's the only union territory that is spread across 3 states. 3 states. So you have, okay, this is Puducherry proper. Right below this is Karaikal, which is physical location like Puducherry is in Tamil Nadu. Here there is Yanam. Yanam is in Andhra Pradesh, physical location. Here there is Mahe, which is in Kerala. So Mahe, Yanam, Karaikal, Puducherry are the 4 districts of Puducherry Union Territory. Okay. Now you should know that it is, just for information, it is about 483 square kilometers. 483 square kilometers. It's not a very big, place actually. Okay. 483 square kilometers, and its chief minister is N. Rangaswamy. There are 2 union territories which have a state legislature and consequently a state, consequently a chief minister. A state legislature, a council of ministers, and a chief minister. One is Puducherry, we mentioned that, and second one is Delhi. Okay. And this Mahe is India's smallest district. It is just 9 square kilometer big. 9 square kilometer big. Shavkat Mirziyoyev was recently re-elected president of, Uzbekistan. That's Uzbekistan there. Fair? I want you to become a little more familiar with these countries here. These are 5 what are called Stan countries: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. These 5 were parts of the Soviet Union between 1922 and 1991. In 1991, the Soviet Union, or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, as it was also called, disintegrated. The USSR, or the Soviet Union, in 1991 disintegrated, it broke up. So all the 15 provinces, which were called Soviets, all the 15 Soviets, or all the 15 provinces became 15 independent countries. These 5 were also part of the Soviet Union before 1991. So the land of the Kazakh is called Kazakhstan. Kazakh, Kyrgyz, Uzbek, Tajik, Turk, these are all ethnic groups, ETHNIC. An ethnic group has more or less a common culture, a common way of life, traditions, similar customs, traditions, and all of that stuff. I said more or less, not always the same thing. Okay. Now one more thing. You see this country in green there, Kazakhstan. It's the world's biggest landlocked country. What is this? The world's biggest landlocked country. So in fact, it has no access to the sea. We will not discuss, we are not looking at the inland sea of Caspian Sea. Overall, no coast, no sea coast, no ocean coast. The capitals are mentioned here. So you have the star mark here, Turkmenistan, Ashgabat. But if I were to tell you the name of the president, it would be Sardar Berdi Muhammadov. Berdi Muhammadov. Sardar Berdi Muhammadov is the son of Gurbanguly Berdi Muhammadov, who was a dictator. Before him also there was a guy called Saparmurat Niyachov. That guy was also a dictator. I mean, these are countries which are very dangerous places. No freedom to criticize, no freedom of dissent is allowed. Okay. This is the president of Turkmenistan. Afghanistan has an interim prime minister. They don't have a full-time prime minister. His name is Abdul Kabir. Abdul Kabir. interim Prime Minister. Tajikistan, here you see capital is Dushanbe, but the president is Imamali Rahman. Kazakhstan, this large country here, is Kasim Jomart Tokayev. Okay. Who will succeed Injeti Srinivas as chairman of the International Financial Services Centres Authority? It's in Gift City, Gujarat. Yeah. K. Rajaraman will be the next chairperson of IFSCA. Now the main job of this is to you could say it's a verifying authority. It's a verifying authority for financial products, financial services, and financial institutions. What is it? Verifying authority. So the new chairperson would be, K. Rajaraman. Who is Madhavi Puri Bhuj? She is the the chairperson of SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. Securities and Exchange Board of India. Then we have Deepak Mohanty, who is, I think, the head of PFRDA. I guess, no. Yeah, pension fund, yeah. These are always confusing. Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, yes, PFRDA. PD Waghela, TRAI. Telecom Authority of India Limited. Sorry, not limited. Telecom Authority of India. Telecom Authority of India. Next. Devashish Panda, IRDA, IRDA. Is it? IRDA. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. Where I guess we got all. Which institution operationalized the 10,000 crore Urban Infrastructure Development Fund for the creation of urban infrastructure in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities? I think we would learn about this classification of Tier 2 and Tier 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 all in the next class. So, National Housing Board. This is the National Housing Board run by Sharda Kumar Hota. Sharda Kumar Hota. HDFC Bank CEO is Shashidhar Jagdishan. Shashidhar Jagdishan. IDBI Bank Rakesh Sharma. Rakesh Sharma. SIDBI, which is the Small Industries Development Bank of India. Small Industries Development Bank of India. It is headed by Shiva Subramaniam Raman. Shiva Subramaniam Raman. Exim Bank, Export Import Bank of India, headed by MD Harsha Bangari. Harsha Bangari. Which Indian shuttler won the men's singles title at the 2023 Canada Open Badminton Tournament? This was held in a place called Calgary in Canada, of course. Calgary. Lakshya Sen was the winner, and I want to tell you that the women's winner was Akane Yamaguchi. Simple question. Akane Yamaguchi of South Korea. Oh, I'm so sorry. She is from Japan. Yeah, she's from Japan. Akane Yamaguchi is from Japan. Who of the following Formula One drivers won the 2023 British Grand Prix? The D is silent, pronounced with the French nasal voice called the twang. Nasal voice is called twang, T-W-A-N-G. Okay, so the winner was Max Verstappen, the 2021-2022 world champion. Yeah, most likely he will win his current leader. Yeah, Max Verstappen was the winner. First runner-up was Lando Norris of Okay, where is he from? What does he drive? Verstappen is from Netherlands, and he drives Red Bull Racing. He drives for Red Bull Racing. That's the name of the team. Lando Norris is from UK, and he drives a McLaren Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton, also from the UK, and drives a Merc or a Mercedes. Mark Rutte recently quit politics after nearly 13 years in power. He was Prime Minister of Netherlands. This is Netherlands. It is said that about 17% of the country's land is below sea level. 17%. And about 26% of the country's land is just above 1 meters above sea level. 26%, 1/4 of the country. Yeah. Just to give you some dope on these things, he quit because he wanted to put a limitation on the number of people who could seek asylum in Netherlands. Thousands of people have been coming to Netherlands to seek asylum. They are escaping Syria, Iraq, Syria. You could say, these two major countries where people want to escape and come here in search of a better life and to escape religious persecution. Shias are moving out from Afghanistan in search of a better life, because Taliban is Sunni and they are persecuting these guys. And Sunnis are leaving Syria, they are leaving Iraq, because these two countries are run by Shias. I mean, there are a lot of tensions around the world, my friends. Yeah. So his coalition partners could not agree on the limitation numbers and everything. So he kind of he put in papers and he said that I am also quitting politics. He has been the prime minister he has been the prime minister for about 13 years now. So 2010 he became prime minister. Okay. He's quit politics also. Think about it. At 56, he's just 56 years old. At 56, he has quit politics, whereas in India, politics, they say, starts at 56. A political career could start at 56. Sweden's Stockholm is the capital, and the prime minister is Ulf Kristersson. There are 2 R's. Kristersson. Netherlands interim prime minister, we don't know. He is the interim prime minister. Amsterdam is the capital. Denmark we mentioned a while ago. Norway, the capital is Oslo. You can see the map, Oslo here. And the prime minister is Jonas Støre. Switzerland has no capital. It's one of the only 2 countries in the world to have no capital. Okay, we'll look at the president, Alain Berset. He is a president for 2023. Yes. Usually they have a 7-member federal council, and these guys take turns to become president for a year. Okay, Alain Berset is for 2023. 22 it was Ignacio Cassis. Yeah. 21 it was Guy Parmelin. 2020 it was Simonetta Sommaruga. So we can go back like that, but that's enough. Recently, representatives of 168 member states of the International Seabed Authority discussed a proposal to allow deep sea mining. The headquarters of the ISA are at Kingston. This is Kingston, Jamaica. Okay, and I will just discuss the capitals. Port-au-Prince, you see, this is the West Indies. Yeah, this comprises a lot of countries, independent countries. Port-au-Prince is the capital of Haiti. This one. Havana, the capital of Cuba. This island of Cuba. Santo Domingo, here, look at this. Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic. I want you to know that there is very next to this country of Dominican Republic, you have this island called Puerto Rico. Yeah, Puerto Rico. Before I come to the last choice, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is owned by America, is controlled by America. In 1898, America and Spain fought a war, during which America won, and America took away Puerto Rico, Philippines, Guam, an island in the Pacific Ocean, and Western United States, what we call Southwestern United States, Arizona, you have California, some part of Texas. They're all taken away by America. Okay, so you have Nassau. Nassau is this is Nassau, Bahamas. What is it? Bahamas. This is a place where Christopher Columbus had first come. Bahamas. Okay, chalo. So next. Hey, just to give you some idea, deep sea mining and all that, there are lots of mineral resources down there, and the deep sea is not explored. I mean, not been deeply explored in large parts of the oceans, in many oceans around the world. In many, when I say many parts of the oceans, like the Pacific Ocean, the Central Pacific is not widely explored, quite deep also. So they all come together to thrash out that, look, if this particular mineral is found in international waters, what could be done and all that stuff. Okay, it is run by a guy called Michael Lodge of UK. So Secretary General is Michael Lodge. Whom of the following persons will be conferred with the Lokmanya Tilak National Award 2023? Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I'll just give you one particular thing. You know the names of all these persons. President here, Nobel Laureate in Peace. Yeah, Bindeshwar Pathak. He is a founder of Sulabh International. Sulabh International. In fact, he is also called the father of India's sanitation revolution. India's father of India's sanitation revolution. So, with which Latin American nation did India sign an MOU in election management and administration? Panama. This is Panama. This thin country connects South America with North America. Okay. So the ships earlier had to go all the way to South America from the east coast of US to go to the west coast. But after that, in 1904, the Americans dug a canal here, and they said, okay, let's dig a canal. Let's not go to the South American. This is how the Americans went, two ways. Okay. So the capital of Panama is Panama City. You can see this here, Panama City. And the president is a guy called Laurentino Cortijo. Laurentino Cortijo. The currencies are USD, United States dollar, and Balboa. Both are accepted. This is the main currency, native currency. Next is Costa Rica. Is it mentioned? Yeah, Costa Rica means wrist coast. These are all once ruled by Spain. Hey, maybe in the next class we'll take this very question and start with the story of Latin America. Why Latin? This is something I deeply love, telling stories. Yeah, earlier I used to tell a lot of stories. Now I cut down on the stories, but let me tell you a story next week on the Spanish Empire, the Portuguese Empire in this part of the world. Okay, I'll bring this question back. Costa Rica, the capital you can see here, San Jose. San Jose. The J in Spanish is pronounced with an H, Jose. And I think I should clear this entire thing here. Lot of clutter. Costa Rica's president is Rodrigo Chavez, and the currency is colon. Guatemala, Nicaragua, it's not mentioned, but anyway, Nicaragua's president, I can just give you, this is the capital Managua. The president of Nicaragua is Daniel Ortega. Honduras is, no, anyway, let's skip all this, Xiaomi Castro and all that. El Salvador, the capital, yeah, El Salvador. El Salvador, my friends, is the capital is San Salvador. San Salvador. And the president is, what's his name? Alejandro. No, this is a guy called Nayib Bukele. Let me clear this. See, this is a country which till recently had a dubious record of the highest murder rate in the world. Now there is no such thing. Why? This Nayib Bukele has established a mega prison where terrorists, gang members, drug cartels, members of drug cartels, they are all put, and they are not allowed to have any contact with the outside world. There are two major gangs in El Salvador. One is MD13, the other is MD18 something. These two gangs had wreaked havoc. There would be at least 5 murders in this country every day by the gang members. And of course, they're dealing in drugs and everything. So Bukele cracked down on these gangs. And today, in the prison, in that single prison, there are 55,000 gang members. Can you beat that? 55,000 members are there in one prison. These are members belonging to just 2 gangs. So today the murder rate in this country has come down drastically. Earlier people could not move freely, could not move between 2 ganglands, and now they are able to move freely. And one more thing about this country is that its currency is, so it's one is United States dollar, okay, the other is Bitcoin. Yes, it accepts Bitcoin. Nationally it accepts Bitcoin. The government accepts Bitcoin. It's a legal tender. Guatemala, you see, this is Guatemala, and the capital is also Guatemala City. So let's not discuss this. Let's look at the president. Alejandro Giamatti. Okay, and the currency is, if I'm not wrong, Quetzal. Okay, I think we've been discussing this quite in great detail. Belize. This is Belize. Okay, Belize capital is Belmopan. It's mentioned here, and the prime minister is Johnny Bricino. See, Belize, like Jamaica, both. Hey, wow. These two they are part of the British Empire, in the sense that the head of these two countries, is the British monarch. So we need to understand that the British monarch runs, Just a second, please. So, the British monarch, King Charles III, is also the head of the state of these two countries. So they have their own prime ministers and all that. Okay. To prevent illegal drug shipment, with which nation did the US recently conduct a joint multi-agency operation named Operation Broader Sword? India. Why did this? What is this particular thing? Illegal drug shipment. See, a lot of people send drugs to the US from India. They send banned pharmaceutical stuff or precursor drugs. They are called drugs that are, drugs that are banned, or some people's raw materials, certain compounds are sent as drugs actually. Then you have devices which are banned. Then you have a lot of other stuff that actually is being electronic sometimes, which escape duty and everything. So for illegal, to avoid all this illegal drug shipment through the international mail facilities, IMF, the US and India launched a joint naval operation. The impounded ships, they stopped ships, they would check, and in June alone, they found they had to detain 500 ships which were carrying illegal, stuff. Yes. Just 1 month, 500 ships were impounded. So, India accepted an invitation from the UN Secretary General to join the Champions Group of the Global Crisis Response Group. The GCRC was established in 2020 to address all these things. I'm not going to discuss this, okay? Some questions will just touch and go, as you know. Most of the questions are discussed in detail, some are touch and go. Which company won the Rising Star Award for its outstanding efforts to enhance procurement to the government e-marketplace portal in 2022-23? Coal India Limited, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is run by PM Prasad. He is the new chairperson, PM Prasad. National Thermal Power Corporation is headed by Gurdeep Singh. Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, Arun Kumar Singh. Then we have Steel Authority of India Limited, headed by Amarendu Prakash. Steel Authority of India Limited, Amarendu Prakash. Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, Nalin Shingal. Whose tenure as NATO Secretary General was extended until October 2024. This guy belongs to Norway. He's the ex-Prime Minister of Norway, Jens Stoltenberg. His term was to end now in October, but unfortunately, October this year, the Europeans and the Americans could not agree as to who would succeed Stoltenberg. One British guy had Ben Wallace, British Secretary, British Minister. He put forward his name, but the Americans declined. And the Americans, in the meanwhile, had also spoken twice to the Netherlands, the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, the guy we discussed a while ago. So Mark Rutte declined the offer. So the Americans wanted Mark Rutte, R-U-T-T, to become the SG of NATO, but this guy declined. It's a high pressure job, especially in light of the Ukraine war now. Who are these guys? Anyway, he belongs to Norway. Charles Michel is you could write President of the European Council. Ursula, by the way, one more thing we could write, if you want to write, he belongs to Belgium. Ursula von der Leyen is a President of the European Commission. Ursula belongs to Germany. Christine Lagarde is from France, and she is the president of the European Central Bank, ECB. Kristalina Georgieva of Bulgaria. She is the MD CEO of the International Monetary Fund. The UN Security Council will hold the first ever meeting on the threats of artificial intelligence in the third week of July 2023. The meeting will be organized by the United Kingdom, so we'll not get there now. There are supporters and detractors of artificial intelligence. Some say this is harmless, some say it poses an extraordinary danger, a kind of danger that could wipe out humanity. We don't know. Experts like Mark Zuckerberg says no, AI is friendly, while Elon Musk says that it is dangerous. Let's see where it goes. Which institution has released the World Investment Report? Well, this is the World Investment Report, UNCTAD, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. I repeat, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Head office Geneva. We just, because the rest of the things we have been discussing quite often, we'll just focus on UNCTAD. Headed by Rebecca Greenspan. She is from Costa Rica. Rebecca Greenspan. This is a spelling of her name. Okay. Now, I want you to understand what was the report. I read the report, major parts of the report, and I found that this graphic captures a lot of good things. Global foreign direct investment fell by about 12%. So that over the numbers in 2021, overall there has been decrease. So people, companies, individuals are investing pretty less abroad. Okay, the numbers have gone down. Now there are multiple reasons for this. One is the war in Ukraine. The other is an extraordinary increase in energy and food prices, that is high inflation. And three, countries are saddled with, companies also have a high debt, high public debt. That's because during the COVID time things went down. There was revenue decrease, and of course expenses were always there, so debt had gone up. Now I want you to understand more, that something more here. Look at this, the numbers for 30 developed countries, it's actually decreased. So developing countries, the numbers okay, it's not drastic decrease, not drastic increase, great increase, but still okay, you could see this here. But when it comes to developed economies, it's actually gone down by more than 1/3. So countries are, that's one of the reasons why Europe has seen major decrease in economic activity. Look at North America, especially United States, Canada and Mexico. Europe also has gone down. See, oh man, it's minus 107. Not the percentage, absolute numbers actually. So anyway, that's so it means that there has been a greater outflow from Europe. Instead of money coming into Europe, money is going out of Europe actually. So overall, Asia has not seen up and down, is 0%. But within that, if you look at India, India's FDI in 2021 was $44 billion. $44 billion. In 22, it went up to $49 billion. These are numbers as per UNCTAD, my friends, not my numbers. Okay. So India actually received more FDI in 2022 than in 2021. Okay? The Indian Tri-Services contingent took part in the Bastille Day Parade held on the 14th of July 2023 in France. What is the Bastille Day? The Bastille Day is a French national celebration. It's called French National Celebration. Okay. On this day, in 1789, a particular prison called Bastille Prison was stormed by anti-monarchy activists who were frustrated with the lack of political reforms, with high inflation, high unemployment and everything. So while the king and the rich were living in filth, very, very good conditions and all, these guys were, majority of people were poor, desperate, food was not free to available. So they kind of stormed the Bastille prison in the hope that they would free political prisoners, especially one guy who was a minister in the French monarchy, okay, French court. But that minister was not to be found there. And on that particular day, there were only 7 prisoners in that. They were also freed, of course. And the storming of the Bastille, the attack on the Bastille, signified what people could do when they were unhappy. So this particular day, this is also one of the reasons why the French monarchy collapsed and the French Revolution was declared. So the monarchy was replaced by a republic. A republic is one in which the head of the state is an elected representative. Okay, is an elected representative. So if you look at this, France, the French Revolution of 1789 is all about establishment of a republic after throwing out the monarchy. So on this particular day, it all started, 14th July 1789. So France celebrates this day, and while there are three tri-services contingent, you could be asked about who led the IAF contingent. The Indian Air Force contingent was led by squadron leader Sindhu Reddy, a helicopter pilot, helo pilot. Squadron leader Sindhu Reddy, helo pilot. Okay. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, PM Narendra Modi, was the guest of honor. At the Bastille Day Parade. The European Union lawmakers recently backed a major plan to protect nature and fight climate change with the aim to cover at least 20% of the region's land and sea areas by 2030. See, these are all good, goals, but how they work in the real world is what is to be looked at. So let's see how it works. According to the latest update of the UN's Global Multidimensional Poverty Index (MPI), how many people were lifted out of poverty in India in 15 years between 2005 and 2021, 15 to 16 years? 41 crore people were lifted out of poverty. 41.5 crore, which is a significant number, my friends. Okay, that represents 1/3 of the country's population at the time. Okay, now it's 1/4 actually. Fair. It's a pretty good number. So, but normally poverty is defined in terms of monetary benefits, in terms of monetary aspects, like how much does a person earn, how much does a person spend. But now, world over, economists say that we need to look at poverty in a much broader way. So they brought in a lot of other dimensions like health, education, and everything, and they are looking at replacing traditional monetary poverty measurement with a range of evaluation parameters. Like they're looking at health, they're looking at education, living standards. See, I have given everything here. So it's taken from the report actually. Okay, so I have learned a lot of good things. Not much of interest to you, I found, my friends. Not much that would interest you was there in the report. I mean, it's a lot of technical stuff actually, like this. So within a family, some people suffer more than others. You know this, no? Like for example, the girl child suffers more than the women in the at home suffer more than male members. Like for example, a girl child may not be sent to school. A boy is generally sent to school. A girl child may not be given the kind of nutritious food that the male child receives. Typically, a woman eats last. Okay, this is how the society is structured, unfortunately. So, a woman eats last, so she eats what's left over. Yeah, it may or may not be nutritious, but that's what it is about. So within the family, the deprivation levels, poverty levels are different. You understand that? So a girl child may be deprived, more deprived than a male child, because the male child is sent to school, English medium school, whereas the girl is not sent, which effectively reduces her chances of employment, better employment tomorrow. Yeah. With which institution or body did the Ministry of Defense join hands to promote the use of millets and healthy eating practices among armed forces personnel? IFSA. What is this? You could write this: Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. We'll just take the full forms here. Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Next, IIMR, Indian Institute of Millet Research. Indian Institute of Millet Research. Next, ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. Medical Research. You know NITI, na? National Institution for Transforming India. National Institution for Transforming India. Next, last one, ICRISAT, International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics. I repeat, International Crop Research Institute. This is International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics. SAT. Okay. International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics. IIMR, ICRISAT, yeah. ICMR, FSSAI. Okay, fair. The last one is in Hyderabad. ICRISAT is in Hyderabad. Big long session, I think so. Well, at least we discussed a lot of good things. Long or not, we discussed a lot of good things. Thank you for being here. That's all from me, Bharat C. Jain. Have a lot of fun. Thank you once again. And remember to stay curious.